What's good, everybody? How y'all doing? It's your boy Anthony, aka Rafa, coming yet again with another message. And today's message is going to be predicated on the turmoil within. That's what it's going to be called. Simply because I feel like a lot of people, not only myself, are experiencing turmoil within their very internal being, not just the inside, but also mentally. When I say mentally, a lot of people are not willing to face that which is mental, which we are all mental beings having a physical experience. However you want to take that. But most people actually live more in their heads on a day-to-day basis than they actually do in the real world. Granted, your boy is one of them. I'm going to honestly be very truthful right now. Most days, I feel disconnected from people. I feel disconnected from the world. I feel disconnected from a lot of things that are physical simply because the physical realm really does not please me. That which I'm actually looking for is spiritual. Hence, the things that I've been talking about lately are a lot of things that are going on internal, because I know that the battle that I experience on a day-to-day basis is an internal battle, also a mental battle. And a lot of people right now in this day and age are actually going through something that is not their own. And a lot of you will probably think, what do you mean? What do you mean that the battles that I'm facing are not my own? So I'm going to give you an example. There's some things going on at my house. And there were some things that was unexpected. And I'm trying to see the lesson in it. And I'm trying to understand it. But I'm going to be honest. It kind of frustrated me. It kind of pissed me off. I'm not just going to go into details with everything, because some things I have to be discreet about. So with the things that are happening, I feel like my space is being invaded. I feel like, and this is just my feeling, I feel like my patience is being tested. I feel like a lot of things are happening at once, where basically there's things being put in front of me where I'm having to acknowledge, and I'm not acknowledging in the best way, where I'm frustrated, on edge, different things like that. But basically the conclusion that I came to was, there's a lot of things that happens within my family when it comes to my intermediate family with my siblings and different things like that, where some of you may experience this, where it feels like no matter how far you try to go ahead or how far you try to get, it seems like they're not progressing. And what I came to the realization was, I started typing, and I was like, let me get this out, because I don't want to hold it in. And what I typed was, I'm going to try to remember everything that I typed. I typed that I love my siblings. I love them without a shadow of a doubt. But I don't like the boat that we've been placed in. But then I had to realize it's not the boat that's the problem. It's the passengers that's on the boat, because everybody on the boat are not on one accord. So therefore, by us not being on one accord, it seems like one person is trying to go this direction or another person is trying to go that direction. And no one is trying to steer the boat in the direction as a unit, rather than everybody saying, let's go this way, let's go that way, or I want to go this way, or I want to go that way. I don't want to go the way that you want to go. And it's like, okay, that's cool. So with that being said, the only way that I can actually see that is, for one, I can only have that perspective based off what's actually happening me internally. So I cannot only see that if it was not happening. But it doesn't stop there. It's not only that which I see in my siblings or in my intermediate family, those who are like directly connected to me. It's also happening in me, but also it's not only stopping in me, it's also happening out into the world. So that means that which I see, that internal conflict, that boat that we're all in, that no one wants to step on one accord, it's also happening in the world. And a lot of people are experiencing this. And when I say a lot, it's really only a little compared to the amount of people who are not willing to look at themselves, who are not willing to face that internal man, to face that internal conflict, to face that internal battle. And what's interesting is I had to come to the conclusion of, I can only see these things simply because I've been connected to it. And two, I've been trusted with that connection. And there's only a select few people who have been connected to such a thing, for where your battle is not your own battle. The turmoil that you're experiencing is not just yours. It's also your family's, and it's also the world's. But majority of the people in your family are not willing to face that turmoil. So you're having to see it directly, not only in them, but also in yourself. And it doesn't only stop there. It also is happening in the world, and the world is not willing to face that which they don't want to face. The world don't want to face the truth. The world don't want to face their demons. The world does not want to face its internal conflict. So guess what? The task has been placed on you. The task has been placed on me. The task has been placed on a select few who have to literally take on a battle that's bigger than us as a whole. Because it's only a select few people that have been given the task of literally battling something that has not been battled for ages. That only a select few have been graced. And when I say graced, I'm saying that lightly. Graced to battle. But what's interesting is some of you are probably been thinking, how is the battle not my own? It's not your own. You're thinking it's just you, but it's also your families. And they're not willing to fight it, so you have to fight their battles too. It doesn't stop there. It also goes into the world. The world is not willing to fight it. So you're also having to take on the world's battle too. You're literally holding up so many things. And I know how it feels simply because I'm going through it every day. So that turmoil within is not always pretty. But also for me to see that the scripture of, I believe, Matthew chapter 7, verse 3 popped up in my head, where it's like, how can you see, or how can you judge the sawdust in your brother's eye, but you first haven't taken the plank out of your eye? So the only way I can see these things is because it's happening in me. But instead of me choosing to just look at those that's close to me saying, dang, are y'all not willing to do the work? Dang, are you not willing to take the step forward? Dang, are you not willing to look at your life and say, how many times must I go through this circle to actually finally say enough is enough and I want to do better until that's enough? How many times? I can't just look at them. I got to look back at myself, because I'm looking, what I see is, when I see them, is a reflection of myself that still has not learned the lesson, that still has not healed, that still has not done the work. And guess what? That don't make me happy. Where I'm not only looking at another person, but I'm still looking at a reflection of myself. Where it's like, dang, what more must I learn? What more folly must I come across until I gain wisdom? You know what I mean? And some of you are trying to figure out, dang, what my family is going through, or what's being placed in front of me. What does that have to do with me? It has everything to do with you. And it doesn't even just stop with the family. It also, it goes into the world. That which you point your finger at in the world, you need to be looking back at yourself, because first, you shouldn't be if you're pointing the finger at somebody else, you need to be reflecting on, why is this in front of me in the first place? This internal turmoil that I'm having, I don't want to look at this. But you have to, simply because it's something that you need to learn. There's a lesson that needs to be bestowed. There's wisdom that needs to be gained. There's something that still needs to be healed, type thing. And that scripture says, why look at the sawdust in your brother's eye, but you still haven't taken the plank out of your eye? If I can say, dang, if I can see it in them, or if I can see it in you, or if I can see it in somebody else, that means it's in me. So the turmoil is like a threefold lock. It's not only in me. It's only in me simply because I can see it in somebody else. So it's in them, but it's also in me because I can see it in them. But guess what? Even as I see it in them, it don't stop with just them and me. I also see it in the world every day. That internal battle of I want to do better, or that internal battle of right and wrong, or that internal battle of, dang, what more must I learn until I get it right? Well, I just want to lay it down for somebody. You're never going to get it right. And the truth of the matter is, I know that sucks, because it sucks. I want to try to get it right every day. And some of y'all right now want to get it right every day. You're never going to get it right. Because if you got it right all the time, for one, you don't need God. But then two, guess what? I'm learning that us trying to be perfect does not actually get us closer to God. From what I've seen, it actually pulls me away further from God trying to be perfect. What brings me closer to God is the fact of accepting that I am flawed and that I'm not going to get it right. My imperfections actually bring me closer to God than me trying to be perfect. And even that is an internal battle. Even that brings turmoil within, because guess what? I want to be this great person, but every day I'm seeing how I'm not great. I want to be this loving person, but every day I see how much I don't know how to love. Every day I want to be this light, but guess what? Every day I'm facing this darkness, right? In a sense, to certain people, it wouldn't make sense. Simply because most people right now are running from their darkness. They're running from the aspect of them that's not that loving. They're running from the piece of them that actually doesn't have peace. They're running from the chaos when they say, oh, I'm peaceful. No, you're not. Some people saying, dang, bro, I'm really a light, man. I'm really exemplifying the light of God. No, you're not. Not fully. Not fully. Because you're still shunning your darkness. Because you're still, you being so loving, you're still, or you being so peaceful, you're still, what's the word I'm looking for? Rejecting your chaos. When you look at other people, you're saying, dang, how can they do this? How can they be that way? But are you looking at yourself first? When we got a battle going on within on a day-to-day basis that no one is talking about. And I'm going to keep it a buck. I was at some point in my walk with Christ where I would tell people, just pray about it, talk to God about it. That's not going to get them anywhere because we're not really telling them the battles that we face. I'm not a perfect Christian, and that which I speak on, it's not for everybody. Some people want to put everything under the rug and say, oh, God got it. Yes, he do. But if we're not telling him, yo, I face battles too. Yo, I talk to God every day and my demons talk to me every day too. Some people are not really telling the truth about what they face on a day-to-day basis. Even as a child of God, some of us are not being the correct example of what it means to follow Christ. Look, I'm not perfect. I will never be perfect. Some of you are not perfect. Nobody is perfect. I even had to tell God the other day straight up, look, I'm not you. Look, I'm tired of trying to be perfect. I'm just going to be who I am. Because every time I strive for perfection, I'm failing every single day. I fail every day too, y'all. And that comes from the turmoil within. I want to talk to my niece the correct way. I don't know how. I want to love my siblings the right way. I don't know how. I want to talk to people the right way. I don't know how. I want to be soft, but yet I'm always being hard. I want to be lenient, but yet I'm always being stern. I want to love in the right way, but sometimes that don't really come out. You see, it's always this back and forth where I'm trying to be this good person, but I'm always seeing this bad come out. You feel me? To me, it wouldn't make sense, but I understand the truth of the matter. I am that I am. I am that I am. And me just acknowledging, some of you got to get to the point acknowledging the fact that, bro, I'm broken. I'm not this perfect person. I'm never going to be perfect. Even with Christ residing within me, I'm never going to be perfect. So I'm at a point now where I'm done striving for perfection. What's the point when all I keep on saying is that I'm falling short every day? And that right there creates more turmoil where I'm just like, Lord, I tried and I still failed. And he's saying, try again. And a piece of me saying, why? Why should I try again when I keep failing, man? I can't even get close to being like you. But yet, I want to be so much like you. But I keep failing time and time and time again. I'm going to even give an example of what that looks like. Like I tell y'all in all my other videos, just as I try my best to walk with God, the devil right there walking too. I don't see the perspective of good and evil anymore. I just see that God has his nature and the devil has his nature, and they're both playing their part just as they are. But no one else can seem to see that. And I'm going to give you an example of the turmoil within. But this is why a lot of people go to war with themselves on the inside. I'm tired of fighting. The other day we was going to work and we ride on a van, right? And a guy from another team, he had to drive us. And before we got on the car, he asked me, did I want some coffee? Bought me some coffee, but I wasn't there to get the coffee when it was hot. I pulled up and the coffee was cold. And he said, look, the coffee might not be hot anymore. My apologies. I was like, okay, that's cool. I kid you not, while we're on the road, I'm drinking the coffee. I put my coffee in it. I put my coffee in the coffee. I put my creamer in the coffee. I put my sugar in the coffee and I start drinking it. The coffee's warm. He already let me know ahead of time. So that shouldn't be a problem, right? I kid you not. I heard a piece of me say, dang, bro, why this dude get us some cold coffee? And I wanted to go with that voice. And I'm going to say it was the devil. It probably wasn't. It probably was my own thoughts. It was the piece of me that I shunned. I'm going to say that. And I had to literally talk back to it. Rather than saying, shut up, I had to catch myself and I said, be quiet. And I said, oh, my bad. No, I'm not going to ask you to be quiet. I'm not going to do that. And I'm talking back to this into my internal dialogue. I said, rather than over here saying, dang, why this dude buy us some cold coffee, which I'm pretty sure he didn't buy us no cold coffee. The coffee just got cold with the amount of time that it took me to get there to the destination. I said, think of it like this. He actually thought about me enough to ask, did I want something? I said some coffee with some creamer and some sugar. He did just that. So don't think about the fact that the coffee is cold. Think about the fact of that he actually thought about you enough to ask, did you even want anything? And he did just that which he asked and that which you answered to. And I promise you that voice got quiet because I gave that aspect of me, that internal dialogue of me, that which most people battle with on a day-to-day basis, or that most people try to shut out and it gets very loud and they wonder why they're fighting. I gave that aspect of me a different perspective. And that aspect of me got quiet. Not quiet like, oh, I shut it down. It got quiet because I gave it a different understanding. And that aspect of me is the aspect of me that is very loud, especially when it comes to anxiety, especially when it comes to depression, especially when it comes to boredom. All the things that most people run from and don't face, that's the aspect of me that gets the loudest when I experience those things that most people don't want to experience. But I also felt the God in me, the peace in me, the virtue in me, sitting back chilling. I felt him chilling, just sitting back like this, like, because God is a gentleman. God is subtle. God is not quiet. He's very smooth. God is subtle. So most people think God is quiet. No, God has a voice that when you hear him, you know, but you only know by the reading of his word. When you only know by actually getting to know him, and people wonder how they say, how do you hear God? Because I dive into his word. I spend time with him, so I know his voice when he speaks. But he didn't even have to say anything. I felt his presence just sitting back chilling like this. He didn't have to say nothing. Because I stepped in and was like, instead of going with this aspect of me, I'm going to call it the devil. I'm going to keep it above. Let me give you a different perspective. Rather than over here going along with you saying, dang, yeah, this coffee is cold. No, this is the internal dialogue that I'm having. I had to give that side of me a different perspective. Hey, yo, he actually bought us coffee. Hey, yo, it might be cold, but think about this. He thought about us enough to even do it. So don't think about the coffee being cold. And it might seem like I'm going on a rant, but I'm getting somewhere with this. Don't think about the coffee being cold. Think about what's been done. Think about the thought that it took for him to exude to even think about this. And that aspect of me got quiet because I gave it a different perspective rather than identifying with it and saying, yeah, this nigga did buy some cold coffee. No. You got to think about everything that happened. Got to give it a different perspective. But a lot of you are not only experiencing turmoil within because of you, because of probably your family that's connected to you, and also because of the world, because there's only a selected few that's actually getting hit with that trifold lock, that threefold lock, where it's you, your family, and the world that you're battling with. You're also getting hit with internal dialogue that you're not willing to face. You're also getting hit with an internal dialogue or an aspect of yourself that you have been shunning since you've been a kid, that has been shunned since you've been a child. So now you grew up shunning it. You've pushed it away. You've never wanted to face it. You've never wanted to deal with it. So therefore you wonder why that voice is so loud. And when it gets loud, you identify with it rather than saying, hold up now. Let me give you a different perspective. Hold up now. I hear you. Hold up now. You are just as much real as the aspect of me that brings peace, the aspect of me that brings virtue, the aspect of me that actually brings me love, joy, and kindness. The same thing that aspect brings me, I need to be given to you. But I'm wondering why you're fighting me, why I'm having an internal battle within myself. And y'all probably thinking, why is he coming with this? Because there's too many people, but it's too many, but it's only a select few who are dealing with something that they trying to wonder, why are they the ones battling with it? Because you have been the one called to it. You probably think you crazy because you got a war going on up here and you said, dang, bro, but I don't want to fight. You don't have to. You can sit back and be the watcher. You don't have to fight. You just need to get to know all of you. You need to get to know the God in you as well as the devil within you. You need to know how to walk with your angels as well as walk with your demons. You need to know how to walk a walk that the rest of the world ain't willing to walk. It's people afraid. It's people afraid of God because they don't understand God. It's people afraid of demons because of what the stories that demons have on them. It's people scared of themselves because they don't want to face themselves. It's people that's putting things in the closet right now because they don't want to open the closet, and they keep throwing all this stuff in the closet, and they wondering why they sinking. They wondering why they drowning because they put so much stuff in the closet. Then guess what? Those things in the closet said, boom, 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 let me out. And when they didn't let them out, they burst out and they came flooding in on them. And they don't even know how to deal with all the things that they have pushed in the closet. Whether it be their anxiety, whether it be the things that they got tempered with as a kid, whether it be molestation, whether it be suicidal thoughts, whether it be thoughts of depression, whether it be childhood trauma, whether it be all these things that they said, no, I'm not going to face that. That's too scary. I'm going to put it in the closet. And guess what? The closet got too full. And now it didn't burst out with all their secrets, all their darkness, all their demons, all the things that they tried to kill and smother. And guess what? They did not die. And they came back out to kill you simply because you tried to kill it, when really the thing was you should have faced it and tried to heal that thing. So now I'm understanding, just as I love God and I spend time with God, but I've been shunning the devil in me and trying to push him away, been trying to shut him up, been trying to tell him, you don't exist, I don't hear you, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you're not there, you don't exist. No, now it's time. Now I've learned that it's time, just as I've loved God and God has loved me, it's time for me to love the devil within me. And that may sound foolish, that may sound crazy, but I'm tired of fighting it. I'm tired of being fought by that side of me because I've tried to shut it up. And now I'm coming to say, I hear it loud and clear. And some of you hear both God and you also hear another voice that's warring against you because you're fighting against it. And if you have been graced, like I said, it might not seem like grace because you're battling something everybody will not get a chance to battle because everybody does not have the capacity to face. If you have been graced with that, don't take it lightly. You're fighting not only on the behalf of not only the behalf of your soul, you're fighting on the behalf of your bloodline. You're fighting on the behalf of generations that have come and to come. You're fighting also on the behalf of the world as a whole. You're fighting something everybody has not been called to fight because everybody can't uphold that type of fight. And if that's you, tell God thank you, even if you don't know how to say thank you, even if you don't see the beauty in it, because I promise you, it's going to get ugly before it gets beautiful. But once you get through that ugliness, that beauty that you will exemplify to the world will only be given by God because you went through something that the world could not go through. You went through a molding that the world could not face. You went through a breaking that the world could not uphold. You went through something. You went through the furnace so many times that even you thought you was crazy. That even you're thinking that you're crazy. Even you're thinking that, yo, Lord, why am I having access to these? Why do I know these things? Why have I been given this knowledge? Why have I been given eyes to see? Why have I been given a mind and a type of wisdom to understand things that man will think is crazy? Because you are the one that can hold it. You are the one that can birth it. You are the one that can carry that child like no other. You are the one that can carry that wisdom like no other. You are the one that can carry that understanding like no other. You are the one that can carry that type of knowledge. And really, all in all, it's a burden, but it's not a burden. But we all, as children of God, if you are a child of God, have to bear our cross daily and pick up something that everybody can't pick up. But remember, you're not doing it alone. You're not doing it alone. Remember, God has already done it. And if this is you, just ask God for the peace, the wisdom, the understanding, and the strength to embody that which He's called you to embody. Because I promise you, sometimes we got to go through hell, and hell ain't pretty just to become a light. We got to go through darkness to come out a light. We got to go through hell to know what heaven is, or to know what heaven looks like and what it don't. So like I said, this video is called The Turmoil Within. And some of you are trying to figure out, why are you experiencing certain turmoil? Why are you experiencing certain battles? Why does it seem like you are being fought on a plane that no one else sees? It's because the plane ain't only mental, it's all spiritual, baby. And you have been graced with a type of strength, with a type of wit, with a type of fight in you that only you can carry, that only you can do, that only you can accomplish. Only you can do it. And even though it might seem like you're crazy, even though it might seem like that which you know will sound crazy to other people, let it. Let it. Because you never know who is listening or who needs what it is that you have to say, because it's somebody else out there that's facing what you're facing and they don't understand. But that which God is giving you to understand is for a reason. It's for a reason. And you being bold, telling your truth, because God has given me a truth. God has given me a walk with him that no man can deny. God has given me knowledge that man can say, boy, you tripping. And I'll keep tripping as long as I'm tripping on God. Come on now. I'll trip as long as I'm tripping in your eyes. But I know what God has called me to do. And some of you got to be okay with what God has called you to do, even how it may look to man. Let's always remember. Let's think about this. If you was walking with Jesus, or you was somebody in Jesus' age, and a man came up with the name of Jesus, saying that God is within him, he is the Son of God, and he came so that you can have life and life more abundantly, how would that sound? That would sound blasphemous. Because you lack the understanding of the knowledge that he knew. But we got to understand that people know things that we don't know. There's people on here that know stuff that I don't know. And I don't know everything. And trust me and believe it, I'm willing to learn. At any time, I can accept that I can be wrong about all that it is that I've come across, all that has been given to me. But I also can accept that it was in my heart and what's been given to me to give. But I know without a shadow of a doubt that I don't know everything, but I'm willing to always get to know something new. But if God has placed it in your heart to do something that goes against what man think they know, and don't take this out of context, because a lot of you will think, oh, well, y'all will take with the LGBT stuff, TTQ, with the transition and all that. A lot of people will take that out of context. That's not what I'm speaking on. When it comes to the truth that God has given you to give to the world, even though it may sound crazy, or you may look crazy, guess what? Wait, God will take the foolish things to confound the wise. So do what God is calling you to do, because you never know who you may be helping. You never know who you may give the boldness and the encouragement to step out on faith and do what God has called them to do. But if you're experiencing turmoil within on a spiritual, mental level, just know you're not the only person. Just know that the battle is not your own. Just know that it's not just you. That's not just yours. You are literally warring and fighting on the behalf of your bloodline, your family that has come and to come, generations that have come and will come, and you're also fighting on the behalf of the human race, and they don't even know it. So if that's you, keep fighting. If that's you, always include God. If that's you, don't let people think that you're crazy, and stop fighting that side of you that you've shunned. Get to know all of you. Love that darkness in you and shine some light on it so that it can comprehend the light. Stop pushing the devil in you away and wondering why he keep coming back stronger, beating your tail, because you're not getting to know him. Get to know your enemy so you can know how to move with your enemy. And you will learn that your enemy was not your enemy all along, that you was your own enemy. You've been your best friend or your worst enemy. You've been doing it to you. When you look at other people and want to point the finger, look back at you. When you see things in the world that you don't like, ask yourself, why don't I like this first, rather than looking at it and blaming it and pointing the finger and putting a negative connotation on it or judging it. If you're going to judge somebody, or if you're going to judge something, judge you first. Judge not, lest ye be judged. And the man that judge himself will not be judged, because you are your own judge, and you will judge righteously because you know how to judge yourself first. You know how to look at yourself first. You know how to look at your light and your dark and say, I can't judge that person. Because I battle stuff every day. As much as I walk with my angels, I walk with my demons every day too. So if you thinking I'm finna come over here and give you some sugar cane Christianity, some sweet Christianity, some sweet Christ walk, no. I'm finna give you that which most people ain't willing to talk about, and that's the real. I walk with God every day, but I walk with my demons too. I'm not finna act like I don't, just as I exemplify light, that I'm not also battling my darkness too. I'm human, baby. And every time I tried to be perfect, that pulled me further away from God. I'm human, baby. And if you think I'm a saint, I'm no saint. I'm still a sinner too, but I'm trying my best to get closer to God. And if I have to get closer to God through my failures, guess what, baby? I'm going to keep failing forward. And I'm going to keep getting up and saying, Lord, I don't know how to do it, but show me. Lord, I don't know what to talk about, but give me the words to say. Lord, I know that which you've given me to talk about might sound crazy and I might look crazy, but I'm okay with that, because if you take the foolish things to confound the wise, those who have ears to hear me will hear me. Those who have a heart open to receive will receive. And those who have wisdom to know what I'm saying will know what I'm saying, because there's somebody battling right now in the world and going through what I've been going through. And I'm not going through it on my own behalf. I'm going through it for you. And I'm going to give understanding based off the understanding that's given to me. So, for the people that haven't been wanting to face the turmoil within, it's time to face that turmoil within. Whether it be with your family, whether it be with yourself, whether it be with the world, whether it be with your day-to-day. It's time to face it. Stop running from your darkness and thinking that your light is all that. Your light ain't all that if you ain't faced your darkness. You can't even be a light if you ain't went through the dark. Face all of you, whether that be good, bad, and ugly. Love all of you, whether that be good, bad, and ugly. And that's going to take time, though. Because we have all been conditioned to push away our negative thoughts, to shun our darkness, to literally shun it like a bad child. It's going to take time to unlearn those bad habits. If you're going to love you and know yourself, you got to love all of you. Light and darkness, good and bad, good, bad, and ugly. All of you. And just like I had to give that side of me, that piece of me, that aspect of me a different perspective, it's time that you start to talk to that piece, that aspect of you, and stop saying shut up, or stop saying you don't exist, or stop, because if you can talk to it, it's real. Stop pushing it away and expecting it to just go away. It's going to come back to fight you. It's going to come back to hunt you. Start to give it love just like God gave you love. You have been graced. You have been graced with a mind, and that which is in your mind, you need to give it also grace and say, okay, I hear you. Okay, I got to stop pushing you away. Okay, I got to stop showing you. What are you really trying to say to me? Okay, I love you too. Show me, Lord, show me how to love this aspect of me just how you love me, because I know I ain't perfect. But that's all I got to say. Y'all have a great and blessed day on this Saturday. And until next time, I look forward to what God gives me. If you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. If you have not left a comment, leave a comment. And let me know what God is doing in your life to let you know about the things that are hidden to most men and women because they don't want to face it. Let me know how this message has confirmed that which you have been facing. But until next time, y'all have a great and blessed day. And if this message helped you, send it to somebody that you believe that it can help, that it has been put on your heart to send to. But until next time, I love y'all. Peace out. Be great. Be blessed.